Hello and welcome. You made it. You're here for the October. How is it October? I don't know how that happened. The October Roundtable 2025, or your future you is watching this. My name is Leanne Reagan, and this roundtable's topic is on how to make learning and pretty much everything else inclusive. So I'm so delighted that you're here. If you're able to, and if you're comfortable, don't let your blood pressure get out of control. I'd love to see you on camera. Uh, just a couple of logistical things here. If you are a UN staff and you want to count this towards your professional development, your UN professional development, and your screen name is somehow a little bit different from the name that the UN would recognize. In the chat, I put instructions for how to change your screen name. And also, given the state of the world and our lovely global group that we tend to get, you might be feeling particularly beleaguered or harried or stressed these days. Oh, hi, Anne. Oh, I'm sorry you're not feeling well. Glad that you're here. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself. So know that you can turn on closed captioning. So I just put the instructions in the chat, and you can choose one of 35 languages, I think it is. And we don't have to come to consensus. We can have 35 people with 35 different languages. So if you want instantaneous closed captioning, feel free to turn that on. So once again, welcome. I'm so delighted that you made it here. If I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you before, know that I am in the learning and development field, and I've been here for like maybe 40 years. I think it's closing in on 40 years in the field. So I tend to focus in these three areas. So one is working better together. So it's all those things that make working part of a team really easy or really difficult. So I do conflict resolution training, communication training, team building, change management, creativity, all those kinds of things. Then I do a lot of work with teams and their tech tools. And I also do training of trainers. So if you want to see what other workshops I can do, and maybe you're interested in talking to me about working with your team, I've just put my workshop catalog in the chat. And if this is future you watching this, the links will be down below. Pam is saying, hi, everyone. I'll join on camera when I get to the office. No one wants to see me on my commute. Well, we would be happy to see you, but don't screen and drive for sure. Um, okay. Oh, let me just turn this on here. Um, so, and Karina's just joining us. By the way, if I am mispronouncing any of your names, Susan's here, Stephanie's here, welcome. Moira's here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you are able to turn on your camera without raising your blood pressure, please feel free to do that. So on our roadmap for today, and by the way, Learning and Development Roundtable members, and you became a member when you joined today, if you weren't already, I love to get suggestions for topics. So I am planning ahead for 2026. So feel free, if you have any ideas for topics, you can put them in the chat or you can email me. So today it's all about making learning and pretty much everything else inclusive. We're going to talk about almonds. And yes, I did say almonds and why those almonds are so important. We'll talk a little bit about some trauma-informed tips. We're just going to dip our toes into these topics. I'll give you more resources if any of these really call to you and you want to find out more. You'll be able to understand what drives participants, which really speaks to including them and making sure that things are accessible. We'll talk about your SAKEs, your teaching style strength and your bias. And don't worry, we all have preferences and biases. And also the Life Lenses tool and how that's a really powerful tool for creating inclusive learning. And if you wish, you can access, I think Yeah, like next month, it's 13 years of roundtables. So you automatically get access to all of those resources, and I'll tell you how you do that in a little bit. And again, if you are a UN staff, you can count this workshop to your towards your UN professional development. And if you're not UN staff, you are equally welcome here. So, I know that you could be doing a lot of different things, and you chose to spend time here together with us today. So, I'm really, really grateful for that. And I really want to make sure that this time is helpful and useful and productive for you. So, I'm going to ask you, please, if everyone can just unmute, unless you're driving, don't worry about unmuting. So, if everyone can unmute, unmute, unmute. Eloise is just joining in. Johan is here. Okay, so everyone unmute. And then on the count of three, so when I count to three, I'd like you to make a shh noise because if you start feeling, "Ah, I can't do this is too much, I'm not keeping up, I'm not doing enough, I should be doing a million things, like I'm just not doing enough. You just want to shh that voice. So we really want to shush that, we want to shush that voice. Oh, sorry. I have someone who's persistently calling me, so I'm just cutting those calls off. Okay, Alexandra is joining us. Okay, so on the count of three, let's hear a big, loud shush. One, two, because we're going to shush that inner critic. One, two, three, go. Shh. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, so feel free to mute again. And again, just a couple of other things before we dive into the content. I really value our global group, and I know that you have tons and tons of experience. So please feel free to participate, ask comments or ask questions rather, put comments in the chat, offer resources. I'm sure you have lots of resources that potentially you'd like to share, so feel free to put that in the chat. Also, we have at the members' request a LinkedIn and a Facebook Learning and Development Roundtable group. So if you want to join those, I've just put the links in the chat. Also, please feel free to share the link if you to the roundtable. I'm always love to grow a culture of learning and bring together really interesting, intriguing people who love to learn, like you, all of you. So please, if you get value from our time together today, please share that link. Membership is free and would really love for you to share if you're so willing. Also, in roughly an hour and a half, at the bottom of the next hour, you will get access to the PowerPoint. So the PowerPoint deck will be emailed to you, and then next week you'll get all the rest of the courses. So you can watch for those to pop in. Also, it's one thing to take a workshop. It's a whole other thing to use that learning. So if you wish, you are so welcome to use this worksheet. So I have about 4 different worksheets that I use to help people be able to apply their learning. So I call it getting the learning to leave the room. So if you wish, you can download this worksheet. And once you download it, it becomes editable. You have to download it first. Okay, again, just before we dive in, I'd love to hear in the chat, where are you? And Ranjita, welcome. I see you just joining. It's lovely to have you here.
Thank you,
Hi,
Nia.
Leanna. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tickled to have you. Leanna is one of the Transformative Trainers Academy membership members, so special welcome to her. So where are you? Hey, so nice to see you. I just sent you something. I just sent you something by email. I don't know if you've seen it. Okay, so we have people in London. Hi, Anne. Mara in Spain. Nice. Ranjita in Nairobi, which is where I am. Oh, Stephanie. Hi. You're in Ontario. Okay, I'm from Vancouver. So, oh, special place in my heart. Johan, Dane in Nairobi. Nice. Yeah, I'm a Canadian in Nairobi. Okay, lovely, lovely, lovely. Regis is in Burkina Faso. Oh, you're so welcome, Regis. I'm so glad you're here. So grateful. Oh, and we've got Jane and Veronica coming in. Alexandra's in Nairobi. Welcome. Nice. Alexandra's also in Nairobi. Eloise is in South Africa. Nice. Oh, I love our global community. It means so much. Hi, Pam from Vancouver. It's sunny today. Oh, great. Nice, nice. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving, by the way. Canadian Thanksgiving was this week. Lovely. Okay, so I would love if you're able to, and don't let the tech get ahead of you. Don't get frustrated by the tech. We can help you if you need some support. But I'd love if you want to, you can go to your toolbar and open the annotations, and just put a little mark on this continuum for, and I know things change, but in general, when you go to workshops, do you feel like they're less inclusive? You don't feel very included, or do you feel that workshops tend to be very inclusive? So you can go to your annotation. You can put a little star, a little check mark, a little dot, whatever you wish. And if you're like, Leanne, do you know the week I've had? There we go. Okay. And by the way, when folks start to annotate, for some reason the camera goes off. I don't know why. So if the annotation is beyond you, just put it in the chat and we can annotate the screen for you. So when you go, typically, and they might change from time to time, depending on the workshop, but in general, when you go to a workshop, do you typically feel like, oh, I feel like I'm welcome here, I feel included, or do you tend to feel like, oof, either myself or other people are not welcome? It's not inclusive. It's just a slippery slope, and some people are really included, but others aren't. So again, if you need help, and this is not a scientific study. So if you're like, I don't know, I want it to be 7.7 or like just a rough idea. I love these that are coming in. This is great. Oh, Alexandra, thank you for asking. If you go to your toolbar, it's under annotate. But again, if you want us to help you, you can just tell us roughly, 1/3 from the left or something like that, and we can annotate for you. So far, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which are almost all, so 7 coming in. We've got, like, they're all pretty much medium or worse. So, which is maybe why you're here today. If everything was great, maybe you wouldn't be here today. So, okay. I'm going to switch the screen in a minute. Oh, don't worry, Alexandra. Okay, so put 3/4 towards the right. Okay, great. So I will do that for you. So I hope that's okay. Um, okay. So I'm going to take a screen grab of this and then I will put it, you're going to get a workbook and the video recording and the audio recording, everything will come to you next week. So I'm just going to take a quick screen grab and I'll put it in the workbook. Okay, let me just erase these. So there's quite a range, but most of them are like midway and worse. So, okay, so are you ready to dive in? We've done a little introduction. Do you want to start talking a little bit? The first thing is like, why are we even talking about this? So give me a thumbs up. Are you ready to go ahead? Oh, and Karina's coming in. Okay, great. So and Collins, hi Karina, and Collins is coming in as well. So why are we even talking? Why do we even need a workshop on inclusive learning? Hey Karina, it's lovely to see you. And others, if without letting your blood pressure go up, if you're able to turn on your camera, please do. I always welcome that. Oh, Alexander, you were having issues with so don't worry. Just put that behind you, and hey Ranjita, oh, nice to see you. Okay, so why are we even talking about this? Number one, I think a lot of workshops are top-down snore fests, and they're often like one size fits all. I did this AI generated image here. I was trying to show like a really baggy suit and like a tight fitting suit there. As a 5'10" woman, I don't know what that is in centimeters. I can tell you that one size fits all nylons do not fit all sizes. And same with learning, right? Also, there's very little engagement, typically, right? Very little engagement. And when there is engagement, oftentimes it's seen as a question and answer, right? So allowing participants to ask questions is seen as engagement, but we can do so much better than that. Also, there's very little retention, right? Um, I'll show you how to get all the resources, the research resources rather, at the end of the workshop. Um, when content is engaging, it's up to 54% more retention, right? So all of you have worked really hard in your fields, whatever, and let me know in the chat, what's your field or fields? Right. So you've worked hard to be in that field. And presumably when you give a workshop, you want people to remember, your very precious, very important content. Finance. Oh, Ranjita, what a great topic to make engaging, right? What a great topic. Also, there's little to no implementation, right? So a lot of time the workshops, it doesn't lead to getting that learning to leave the room, right? To implementation. Let me know, other folks in the chat, what is your subject matter area? And I'm sure some of you have lots, so you can pick one. Planning, business management, we've got nice. Okay. Also, I think a lot of folks think that engagement means just having fun. Like engagement equals having fun, as opposed to engagement actually leads to retention and actual use of the learning, right? We've got bookkeeping and profit coaching from Stephanie. Hey, Stephanie, we've got project management and meal from Johan. If you don't mind spelling out that acronym, I don't know if everyone on the call knows what that means, if you're okay with that. Stella administration. Yeah. So, and my firm case is it doesn't matter what your topic is, our brains all function the same. Every topic needs to be engaging. There's no topic where it's okay to just, massively lecture. Okay. There's also very often very little desire to take training. I was at the UN today here. For those of you who may not know, Nairobi is one of the headquarters for the UN, United Nations. Um, and we were talking about this. I was meeting with some of the learning and development people. What percentage of employees do you think upscale, like take learning and development, only when mandated? So they're not proactive about it. They only do it when they have to, like when it's mandatory. Thanks, Johan. So Johan was saying meal is monitoring, evaluation, accountability, and learning. Right. So put in the chat, what percentage of employees upscale only when they have to? Let me know. Oh, oh my goodness. So we've got high guess. So Ranjita saying 70, Stephanie saying 75, Pam saying 25. Okay, so we've got a range. I would have guessed like a low number. And actually, I'll put the answer in the chat here, and also the source of the research. It's 75 in this one particular study. This is from the Economic Times. 3/4 of people are only taking learning when they have to. Like, oh, yeah, I don't know who put the surprise, like, oh, just put a stake through my heart, right? That's just painful. That's just really painful. Also, there's issues with employee retention. So despite this unwillingness to take learning, I think that has to do because it's not engaging, it's not inclusive, it's not relevant, it's not transferable. 90% of employees look for companies with obvious training and development, and 85% would leave their jobs if they were offered more training elsewhere, right? Like, that's huge. So the desire is there, but there's a huge gap, right, between the desire and the actual taking of the learning. So Pam was saying, okay, so Pam had also thought 75%. Yeah, Pam saying I also think people don't know where to find it. It's incredibly overwhelming. It can also not be, of course, our topic today, inclusive, so it doesn't fit your learning style, your learning needs, all of those kinds of things. Okay, and then finally, there's often one kind of teaching, which is great if because people tend to teach unconsciously in the way that they like to learn, right? So people tend to teach unconsciously, unless you examine that bias, which we're going to do today, in ways that you like to learn, which is great for those students, participants, beneficiaries, clients, whatever you call the people you work with. Um, if they learn the same way, right? But of course, there's going to be a huge mishmash. So, are you ready to dive into some of the tools? I think I've got 6 tools here for you. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to dive in or if you have any questions. And again, if you like the research notes, I've put those all together for you, and you can look up those studies later on if that calls to you. Okay, great. Okay, then I'm going to ask you to unmute. So if everyone can unmute again, please. If you're able to, if you're not driving, don't be safe. Everyone be safe. So unmute, unmute, unmute. And on the count of 3, please repeat the word amygdala. Amygdala. 1, 2, 3, go.
Amygdala.
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 Oh, you're great.
Amygdala.
Okay. You now know the Greek word for almond. Okay, so amygdala is how you say almond in Greek. And in case you're thinking, why is this woman talking? Why is she talking about almonds? Oh, almonds are your like best friend or your worst enemy when it comes to inclusive learning. Because you have 2 almonds or amygdalas in your brain, right? One in the left hemisphere, one in the right hemisphere. And they are so, 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 so important. One way to describe, let me know in the chat, have you heard amygdalas? Did you know that that means Greek? Or sorry, did you know that that means almond in Greek? Let me know in the chat. So think about information coming into your brain, and your amygdalas make one of 2 decisions. Okay, so sensory input is coming into your brain. So this is new for Stephanie and Hilda. Great, I'm glad this is new. It is the secret, one of the 6 secrets to inclusive learning. New for Eloise as well. So sensory information is coming into your brain. Your brain makes one of 2 decisions. Can I eat it, or is it going to eat me? Okay, meaning, can I eat it means I'm calm, I'm okay, I feel included, I'm rested, I'm relaxed, I feel safe, I'm interested, I'm curious, I'm engaged, etc. Or it's going to eat me means I'm embarrassed, I'm shamed, I'm feeling excluded, I feel angry, I feel embarrassed, overwhelmed. Any of those kinds of things can set our amygdalas off. And by the way, one of the many interesting things about our amygdalas is when we are in that position of um, uh, feeling like, it's going to eat me, right? Our amygdalas grow to be the size of a walnut. So they get much larger. Oh, and by the way, they're really important in retention as well. They help decide what to put in short-term memory and what to keep in long-term memory. So amygdalas, almonds, your best friend or your worst enemy. So decisions, decisions, decisions. If that amygdala is on high alert because you're not feeling included, you got embarrassed, you got ashamed, you got called out, you got, something. Yeah, Pam, it's really, really cool. Yeah. At times I call myself an almond massager, right? Because you can't do anything with learning if those amygdalas are flaring, right? Because your amygdala, then once it's decided it's going to eat me, then you start using the most prehistoric, the oldest part of your brain that you have in common with reptiles. And now your brain is going to make one of four decisions. Should I fight? Okay, and that doesn't necessarily mean physical. It could mean, Ranjita, you don't know what you're talking about. Leanna, oh, I can't believe it, right? Like just combative, right? Or flee. So I'm going to leave the situation either physically or emotionally. Like I might be physically present, but I am checked out. I am just not there. Or freeze. So, especially with trauma-informed responses, there just might be an absolute freezing. So, the brain is really thinking, I am seriously in danger. Does anybody know what the last one is? So, you've probably heard of fight, flight, or freeze. What's the fourth one? Yes, Stephanie. Yes, fawn. And for people whose first language is not English, it's a weird English word. It basically means people pleasing. So, Hilda, whatever, no, it's okay, Hilda, whatever you want. I'll do whatever you want. No, don't, no, no, it's okay. Don't worry about me. I'm totally fine. No, no, it's okay. And yeah, no, it's okay. Don't worry about me. I'm totally fine. How can I help you? What should I do? No, really, no, no, you don't have to worry about me. Right. So I'm giving you an extreme example. Right. Um, I love this example here. Has anyone ever gone to the doctor? Hopefully this isn't, oh, Pam heard flop. Like, yeah, well, I guess you could say the learning is a flop if your brain is trying to decide, should I fight, freeze, flee, or fawn? Yeah, I like that. Maybe that's the fifth one. I like that, Pam. Um, so if you've ever gone to the doctor and you're nervous and you've got that medical gown on and you're not sure if all your bits are covered or if something's hanging out and you're anxious. So AKA your amygdalas, your almonds are firing because you're anxious, you're nervous. And the she's telling you a diagnosis, she's telling you some medication you should take, she's telling you whether you should take it with food or before or after, or how many times a day. And has anyone ever gotten home and thought, oh, should, was I supposed to, what medication? Was it before food or like, I just completely don't remember. Has that ever happened to anyone? Um, I can see. So Hilda just put, what are the top five nuts? Oh, that's great. Hilda, thank you. Thanks for sharing. So apparently almonds is in, oh, I love that. So almonds, walnuts, pistachios, pecans, and hazelnuts. Nice. Yeah, so if you can relate to that, going to the doctor, you're getting some, or maybe you're going in for a feedback session, in the UN, it's EPAS time, and you're getting some difficult feedback, and then you leave and you're like, what did Eloise say? I just like, pfft, right? That is your almond brain trying to protect you. And it can look a little bit like this here.
Yes! No! If I say yes! Oh, no, no! If I say yes, I say yes! If I say no, then no! No! I said no! I said no first! I said no first! No, I said no first! I said no first!
They're arguing about who said no first. And it's really kind of funny because they're toddlers and because we're not involved in the conflict. But when it's us involved in the conflict, it's not funny, right? And our lizard brain, like our almond brain, just really shut down, right? So it tries to protect us by that fight, freeze, flee, or fawn, and there's just not a lot of happening. So a quick tip for a quick win is really think about how can you massage those participant almonds. And actually, I forgot to give this to you. So here, and some of you might be in the place of you like to get um, the resources as we go along. And others of you might be thinking, oh, it's kind of overwhelming. Everything's going to be in one place in a workbook. So whatever your choice is, whatever suits you, you do you. But there is, I just in the link, or future you is watching this, the link will be down below. I put a worksheet there for how to massage almonds. So what helps relax those amygdalas and what can fire them up. And there's also a link to a really cool video. I think it's amazing, and it's had great feedback in other workshops about a doctor who's talking to a patient, and he does an epically amazing job of massaging her almonds, right? Her amygdalas. That's of course not what he what he calls it. She doesn't know that that's what's happening, but she's in a very high pressure situation, and he does an amazing job. There's a little bit of intimate. So this woman's about to give birth, and there's a little bit of intimate body parts that are mentioned. There's nothing crass or awful, but you can check that out later if you wish. Okay, so our first tip there is that almond, right? Really massaging those almonds. If you want to, you can look at that worksheet and really think about how can you massage your participant almonds. Any questions before we go on to trauma-informed tips? I'll just give a pause here for you to anything not resonating, anything, or maybe you have some resources to add or experience in your own from your own life, because I know there's so much wisdom in this group. And if you are ready to move on, you can just give me a thumbs up, but don't feel rushed. Okay, great. I see some thumbs up there. Okay. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about some trauma-informed tips. I'm really curious, has anyone done any research or practice around trauma? If my voice sounds funny, it's because I'm typing it into the chat here. Done any research or practice into trauma-informed training? Is this a new topic for you, or have you thought about this before? I'd love to know in the chat. By the way, my voice is a bit froggy. I've had a cold. It's going on 3 weeks, so a little bit of my Diet Coke caffeine here. Okay, not much. New topic. No. Have some training. Oh, Stella. Okay. I would love, Stella, no pressure. Don't let your blood pressure go up. But if you have resources, oh, thank you, Ranjita. Stella, if you have resources to share, please feel free to do that. Because in my experience, this is a pretty new topic. There's lots and lots of work around trauma-informed from like a counseling perspective, but not so much from a training perspective. So Stella, if you feel comfortable sharing, please know that that's most welcome. So a couple things about this. We really want to circle back to those almonds, right? It's not just because it's a nice thing to do. It's also, unfortunately, a safe assumption to make. Normally, assumptions aren't a good, healthy thing. But the percentage of people that have experienced a potentially traumatic event during their lifetime, what percentage do you think that is? And of that percentage, what percentage will go on to develop PTSD? So take a guess in the chat. So Hilda's saying 60% of people globally will experience a potentially traumatic event. Leanna's saying 80%. The answer is right between those two numbers. Oh, Eloise is saying in South Africa 80. Yeah, this is globally, so countries will experience this differently. Yeah, Ranjita, it's 70%. Right. So if you're giving a workshop to 30 people, like 70% of that, like 21 of those people have potentially experienced a traumatic event in their lifetime. That's huge, right? That's almost 3/4. That's almost 3/4. So unfortunately, sadly, I don't think, doesn't matter who you're teaching, doesn't matter what topic it is, but it's really helpful to keep these tips in mind that we'll talk about. Okay, of those 70%, what percentage of that do you think will go on to develop PTSD? So what percentage? And by the way, I just want to acknowledge that, of course, that applies to this group, right? So some of you might be feeling a little anxious given your experience with your own trauma, even talking about this, right? Ranjita's saying 50, Eloise 50. It's actually quite a small number. Hilda's saying 30. So it's going to develop into full-blown PTSD. Oh, Juliana, you're so close. Juliana said 5. It's 6. So 6%. So this data is from WHO, the World Health Organization. I'll just put that in the chat there. Again, you'll get all of these research resources. So that's really big, right? And as a survivor of PTSD myself, I know how important this is and how the littlest thing can just really trigger and make the learning the gates just come absolutely crashing down. And I hope this doesn't sound boastful, but like I'm a high functioning, healthy adult, right? I'm not at all in the throes of PTSD, but this still affects me, right? Years and years later. So yeah, there are those percentages right there. So, and again, just to come, back to that circle, of course, there's going to be people in this group who are like, that's me. Like, and maybe you feel your anxiety creeping up, or it's a little harder to pay attention, etc. So we want to be soft and safe with those kinds of things. So I'd love to know, what do you think some of the do's are? So when it comes to trauma-informed training, what are some of the things, because, and let me just manage expectations. Unless you're doing some kind of psychotherapy counseling session, um, you're not going to know who has a trauma response and who hasn't. And it's not, in most cases, appropriate to ask, right? It's not information you need to know. So these are things you're going to do regardless of who's in your workshop, and what your topic is. So Maria, yes, giving options. Absolutely. Yeah. So so an example of that would be, well, what I did with the annotation, right? So that in a way, so some people have a trauma-informed response to technology, but it could be a trauma-informed response, period. So I never want to have people's amygdalas flaring into the size of a walnut, and that learning, just comes crashing down. So do you remember what I said? I gave people an option there, give a choice when you were annotating. Feel free to unmute, and if you can remember the option I gave, or put it in the chat. Yeah, Stephanie, exactly. Yeah, if you're, and I also tried to say, I kind of, oh, sorry, someone was speaking there. Oh, I saw the mic go
No,
off.
no, it's fine.
Hi,
No,
Eloise.
it's fine. I just said yes.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Eloise. I also tried to acknowledge the context. So I put it on my shoulder. So I said, if you're thinking, Leanne, do you know what kind of week I had? Do you know what's happening in the world right now? Like if the annotation feels like too much, we've got you, right? Put it in the chat and we will help you. That you could call that a trauma-informed training tip. Okay, there's another thing that's really important with choice that hasn't come up yet. And think about in person. This has to do with in person. So what kind of choice can you ideally, now if you're in a very senior, very formal UN setting, you wouldn't be able to do this, hint, hint. But if you're in person, what's one thing ideally you can give people a choice about? Any ideas? Oh, we've got space, we've got leave the room if they don't feel comfortable. Yeah, even simpler. Don't overthink this because this will give them a lot of personal autonomy if you give um, this choice to people. Any guesses? Juliana, I love your comment about leaving the room if they don't feel comfortable. I often start my workshops with, if they're longer workshops, particularly, and I'll say suffering is optional. So do what you need to do to make this a good experience for yourself. Right. So I'm trying to get ahead of the trauma, right? Or ahead of the conflict. If you can deal with it proactively. Ranjit is saying making any decisions. You are all too smart. You're all thinking too you're just being brainiacs. It's something very simple. Oh, Juliana's saying feel free not to participate in the discussion. Yeah. Sometimes I'll say that participation looks like a lot of different things. It can look like not a lot of talking and deep listening. So I try to create a space where I'm not forcing people to talk. That doesn't necessarily mean that's not the only way to participate. Um, would you like me to tell you? Give me a thumbs up if you want this. You're all overthinking it. It's something really, really simple, something that wouldn't work. I was facilitating a very, very high level political meeting in Mogadishu in the UN, and this absolutely wouldn't have worked there. But most settings you can do this. Okay, I see a lot of thumbs up. It's seating, right? It's where allow people to choose where they sit because that is a trauma-informed response. I can tell you when I walk into a room, according to my reaction, I know exactly where I will feel comfortable sitting and where I won't feel comfortable sitting. And it normally, and this is not generalized for all trauma, it'll depend on different kinds of trauma, but for me, it's if my back is not to a bunch of people or to a door, right? I just feel a little edgy, a little like, ideally, I want a wall behind me, right? I just feel more comfortable that way, right? So if you can, try to give your participants the choice of where they sit. Now, you might, and people tend to sit with people that are like them or that they know. They feel like they're similar or they know that person. So then you can mix things up during your workshop, during the physical workshop. And I always say in my introductions in a physical workshop or in-person workshop rather, the physical workshop, that sounds funny. I always say you will be moving around today, but you can always go back. I'll always give you the option to go back to your, um, sorry, back to your original seat, right? So they're going to move around for shorter periods of time, and then they can go back to their seat. Okay, so we want to give people choices. Here are a couple of other things, right? Surprises. Really bad idea with people who've survived trauma, right? Because they don't, it comes down to a choice, right? They aren't able to really make a choice. So one thing that would be a very poor professional practice is to say, I don't know, Jane, I'm picking you as a volunteer. Can you come up to the front of the room or can you unmute and I'm gonna use you as a volunteer, right? I haven't told Jane what I'm going to ask her to do, and I'm spotlighting her in front of the entire group. So for groups that I don't know, like at the beginning, I would never do that, right? Because the chances, remember, 7 out of 10 people have experienced some kind of trauma. Oh, Stephanie's making a great point. Yes, also an introvert's worst nightmare. Yeah, exactly, right? I'm a raging introvert. Yeah. Like no choice, oh my goodness, what is this person going to make me do? My amygdalas are now the size of walnuts, and I just want to leave, right? I just want to be out of there. Eloise, I think you had a hand up, or that, but then it went down. If you want to
Yeah,
say something.
yes,
Oh,
yes, I do Zoom classes, and some of the somehow, especially female students, um, they don't come to classes because I ask them questions, and I don't know what to do instead.
oh, okay. So one thing that I think asking questions is a good thing, but not spotlighting
Yeah.
somebody. So I'll say things like, Eloise, Alexandra, and Clara, Hilda, do you have anything to add? Right? So I'll group people together, right? As opposed to
Okay.
Ranjita, tell me what your meaning of life is. Right? Like, ah.
Oh,
Right?
okay. So
And
you
then
give them a choice. Okay.
yeah, and the other thing you can say too, because you don't want the people who love the spotlight to take over. Another powerful thing you can say is, I'd love to hear from someone we haven't had a chance to hear from yet. Right? You have to
Yeah.
be really unaware, right? To not realize that you have spoken a ton. And okay, so that's a very gentle way of saying, oh, I'd love to hear from someone who hasn't had a chance to speak yet. As opposed to Hilda, I'm completely making this up. Hilda, you've talked 75% of the time. Like we want to hear someone else. Yeah. Right. Which
Oh,
would
thank
set
you.
Hilda's amygdalas off, right? Leanna saying, I
Okay.
also find icebreakers questionable. Every single time there'll be those who are fine with it, those who find icebreakers fun, and those, we could do a whole session on this. So my short answer to that, um, if you think about breaking the ice, right, that means getting to know people better, helping people to feel safe and comfortable and together. So I think they're almost mandatory. Like I would say they're super, super important. The problem becomes, and here's a true story. And this has to do with my simple last point here is no physical contact. Now, if you are teaching massage, if you are teaching something that involves physical contact, that's a whole other level. But in general, right, no physical contact. This is a true story. Many, many years ago, oh, I can just feel my blood pressure going up. The instructor said, um, she gave everyone an animal. It's like, okay, Eloise, you're a cow. Hilda, you're a lion. Ranjita, you're a I don't know, a chicken, Jane, you're a, and there was repetition in the animal names. Then and you're gonna think I'm lying. This is so bad. I swear I'm telling the truth. You were supposed to close your eyes, okay, first like, and then you were supposed to make the sound of your animal and find the other people who were making the same sound. Oh, oh. So in other words, hands were going to be on your body, right? Because people were moving around, their eyes are closed and like, right? Like terrible, terrible, terrible. So the concept behind an icebreaker, fabulous. There's a whole art to making sure that you're picking culturally sensitive, gender sensitive, trauma-informed icebreakers. And by the way, choice even comes to the point of closing eyes. So I'll do guided visualizations and things like that. And I'll say, this is trauma informed. Please feel free to close your eyes. And if you don't, for whatever reason, feel comfortable closing your eyes, just let your gaze soften and look up or look down, right? Because even, closing your eyes in public can feel very uncomfortable. Thanks, Hilda. Okay. I've written a couple of blog posts about this because I know again, these are just touching. I can do much more involved workshops if you were interested with your team or such, but we just touched the topic with these. But I've shared a couple blog posts in the chat there, and that will be in your workbook. So a quick tip for a quick win is really think about trauma-informed training techniques, right? And make sure that you're incorporating them, right? Be very deliberate, very strategic, because unfortunately, it is a safe assumption to make that roughly 70% of your participants could be survivors of trauma. Okay, comments, questions before we go on to the next one? Is that making sense? Anything like, I don't know what you're talking about there, Leanne? And Stella, if you, again, no pressure, but if you do have resources you want to share. If you're new to trauma, Peter Levine, he's kind of the granddaddy of trauma-informed stuff. If you've ever, has anyone read his work? It's called Taming the Tiger, I think is his classic. He's in his, I don't know, 80s now. He's fascinating and so good. Can look him up. Okay, you ready for the next tip? Just give me a thumbs up. Are you okay? Anyone? Okay, great. Okay, this one. Oh, okay. So this is a little harder maybe to think about, but oof, the payoff is so good. This is understanding what drives your participants. So I would like you to imagine that there are 6 paper bags in front of you. Okay, there's 6 paper bags. There's nothing dangerous in them. They can't hurt you, but you have to decide. There's something on the bottom of the paper bag, and you have to decide which bag to look under. So you're trying to decide how are you going to make that decision. So these are the ways that you're going to decide. And some of you might be called to for more than one, but for the purposes of this one, just make one decision. And you'll see in just a second here, I'm going to put a poll up on the screen. So you should be able to see the poll. So you've got this paper bag in front of you, and your task is to decide how to decide to look under the bag. So pick the one that speaks to you the most. So are you going to be a leader? Are you going to help your group decide whether to look under that bag? Are you going to talk to your group about whether to look under the bag? Are you going to decide for yourself? You're going to be independent? Are you going to imagine asking your future self? If you could, so pretend that's totally possible. Okay, you're going to ask your future self. Or you're going to do some research. You're going to consult the internet. Or are you going to be like super goal directed? Like it's really important to you to make the right decision. I'll share the responses in just a second. They're coming in hot and heavy here. I love doing this with teams. This is one of my favorite exercises. I actually have physical paper bags. They have a candy in them just to provide ballast so they don't tip over. And people are always trying to eat the candy. I'm like, don't eat the candy. It's really old. It's just there so the paper bag doesn't tip over. Okay, we have one. So every one of the 6, at least one person has picked, and there's one that is the clear winner so far. Okay, people are still voting. I can give you the link to the actual survey. I'll put in your workbook, so you can come back to this. You can share it with your team. You can share it with your friends if you wish. Oh, it switched. The top one switched. Okay, almost everyone's. Just give you a couple more seconds. Most people have put their vote in. Okay. Okay, I'm going to end the poll. Hopefully I gave you enough time. And here are the results. So you should be able to see them there. I'll grab hang on. I'm just going to grab a screen grab. And I'll put this in your workbook too. So unfortunately, I can't show them to you all at once. But so the most popular was talk to your group. Okay, and there's no judgment about this, right? The second most popular one was to be a leader. What was the least one? Oh, okay, so there was three that were 14%. So decide for yourself, imagine asking your future self, and achieve your goal. Okay, so um, what the heck does all that mean? This is what you chose. So if you picked achieve your goals, that's achievement, like check, check, goal oriented, achieve your goals. If you were be a leader, oh, and by the way, each of these styles, this is based on National Geographic research that I did. And each of them have their good days and their bad days. So the good day for an achievement, oof, gets lots of things done. So when we are teaching achievement-oriented folks, we want to give them a chance to accomplish things, right? On a bad day, they can be, okay, we're not taking any breaks. You gotta work, 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 work. It's like, whew, right? Okay, power, those are the people that love leadership opportunities. So small groups, they love small groups, getting a chance to facilitate, be the leader of that group, lead the group, ask for their opinion, ask for if they have any resources to share, etc. People who wanted to talk to other people, that's affiliation. So on a good day, they are the ones who naturally collaborate. They naturally ask for other people's input. Oh, sorry, power on a bad day. Of course, we all know, especially, if you look on the political scene, people can abuse power, right? Who have power. Affiliation on a good day, they're natural collaborators. They naturally want to get input from others. On a bad day, oh, Regis and Stella, what did you do last weekend? And oh, Stephanie, what did you think about that movie? And like, meanwhile, there's like a big project to do and they're focused on socializing, right? Autonomy. Those are the people who work very well on their own. Thank you very much. So they don't like to be micromanaged. So give them lots of leeway for doing things, right? Oh, Johan's having issues with the internet. Um, Johan, perfect timing. I'm going to give you the survey. So I have an online survey and I'll give you the stats. Now I haven't collated them recently, so these are from a while ago. But I will show you that in just a second. So great question. Thank you. And Hilda's saying, how do you respond to a participant in a plenary session who's not given the correct response and yet you want them to feel safe? Oh, great. Great question, Hilda. So it's there's two things happening there. One is the culture of learning and being inclusive. So really thanking them for asking or answering the question. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that response. And then offer gently another perspective. Like when I look at it, this is the way I see it. What do you think? Right? But really, 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 really praise them for answering that question because if we shame someone, embarrass someone, etc., we are setting the tone that we might say that we want engagement. We might want people to ask or answer questions, but we really don't if we do that. Okay, so autonomy, giving people, we're all adults, right? Giving people choices, giving people options. People who are motivated by autonomy love that. On a bad day, right? They can be off in their own little world, right? Like they're just like they're focused on something that maybe not be related to the workshop, right? External. Okay, so these are the folks who are motivated by their supervisor, their team, their religious leader, their parents, their children, it's something outside of themselves. So getting certificates of participation often are really important to these participants. On a bad day, and I'm completely making this up. And by the way, if I mispronounce anyone's name, just put the phonetic pronunciation in the chat. Delger, I'm just using you as an example here. I'm not going to hang out with that person because they're not wearing the right brand of glasses. Or, I'm not going to hang out with Alexandra because did you see the car she drives? Like, oh, right? Like really superficial, right? Motivated by very superficial, unimportant things. Alexander's saying, as an extrovert, it's hard for me to put myself into the shoes of an introvert, and I can get easily annoyed by someone not speaking their mind. Good to hear about these different motivators. Oh, yeah. And you may have heard of Susan Cain's work. That could be helpful for you to read. She's probably the world's expert on introversion and has written a bunch of bestsellers. One of the things, Alexandra, about introversion and extroversion is pause time. So allowing, sometimes extroverts will say, are there any questions? Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, right? And there's no pause, right? Because like I'm juiced up, I've got adrenaline going, I'm excited, I love this topic, right? So just adding a bit of silence there. So does anyone have any questions? And those extra couple of seconds can really help people who like that slower pace, who have a little bit more introverted style. And I tell you, it is shocking when you give just a couple more seconds when asking questions, what pops up. It really makes a difference because participants with the shortest pause time win, right? The people that jump in the quickest get to say the most. Okay, future, the last one here. So on a good day, these are people who are motivated by ending gender-based violence, racism, inequity, addressing climate change, right? All the things that you're not going to be able to fix in the next week or even the next year, but they're really, focused. Oh, someone's just heading into a tunnel. I appreciate that. Be safe, and we'll see you on the other side, hopefully. Uh, on the downside of people who are future oriented, it can be a little bit like achievement, like Clara and Eloise and Hilda, you can't take any breaks. Don't you know the world is burning? Work, 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 work. Like work-life balance can go out the door. So a way we speak to our future-oriented participants, because again, you're not going to know who's who. So ideally, you want to include all 6 of these to make it really inclusive. So speaking to mission and vision and values, future participants love that. If you want to look at a worksheet for ideas for how to motivate all these different styles, I've just put that in the chat. And you can take the sort of more formal assessment that's not related to the paper bag. And then speaking to, who was it? Johan's lovely question. So this isn't the most recent. I probably should update this. But that survey that you're about to take, these are the findings from most to least. So the most common one, now I don't exclusively work with UN teams, but I do a lot of work with UN teams and INGOs, so this is not surprising. So future-oriented and achievement, right? Really popular. Stella saying, actually, the sessions I attended were facilitated by the UN Staff Counselor's Office. Oh, the resources are on their site. Okay, great. Okay. Oh, thank you, Stella. Appreciate that. I think you're talking about the trauma informed. So I appreciate that. And this is kind of a summary chart as well. So, put a thumbs up if you have ever tried to dress a toddler, yours or someone else's, who did not want to get dressed. Thank you very much. Or they didn't want to put on the outfit you wanted to put on them. It is hard. What does this have to do with motivation? If we're working with our participants' motivation, oh, chef's kiss, right? So, so, so much easier. So quick tip for a quick win is really think about how can you speak to these different motivation styles, right? It's the difference between, and I hope this doesn't sound like I'm infantilizing adults. I don't mean it that way. I mean, it really feels like the difference between trying to easily dress a toddler or not. You've got your participants on board. They are keen. We are together. We're addressing this important topic, or they're like, they're checked out. Okay, time is going here. So I just wanted to quickly, let me just take a quick pause. Any comments so far? Any questions? Anything like poking out at you before we continue? We've done our motivation, we've done some trauma-informed tips, and we've done, what was the first one that we did? The almonds. Right, so we've done 3. Before we continue, anything else? Or give me a thumbs up if you're ready to continue. Stella, thanks so much for sharing that link again. That's super helpful. Okay. Okay. So Alexander's saying, could you repeat the nice image where you compare the amygdala and my reaction to something and how it eats? Oh, yeah. So when sensory information comes into your brain, your amygdalas are super important and they're making 2 decisions. Can I eat it? And in the context of teaching, that means I feel comfortable, I feel included, I feel safe, I feel excited to learn. Like I'm not flustered. I'm ready to dig in. I'm ready to engage. So that's where the massaging comes in, right? That worksheet I gave you, that's the sweet spot for our participants. And by the way, this applies to you too. It's really hard to do a good job facilitating or training if your amygdalas are the size of walnuts, right? If you've had a trauma response or something like that, or you've been triggered, etc. So your amygdalas are going to decide, can I eat it? Or it's going to eat me. And the equivalent of that is I've been shamed, embarrassed, put down. I don't feel comfortable here. I'm not included. I feel super awkward. I've been put on the spot. It could also be like I'm super overwhelmed. I'm anxious. Could be any of those things. So if your amygdalas decide it's going to eat me, that's a really hard place to be for learning. It's pretty impossible. They're going to be learning, but they're not going to be learning your topic. They're going to be thinking, how can I get out of here? Like, just let it stop, right? That's where that fight, freeze, flee, or fawn kicks in. So if your amygdala decides it's going to eat me, then it goes on to decide, am I going to fight? Am I going to freeze? Am I going to flee? Or am I going to fawn? Alexander, let me know if that makes sense, if that's okay. And while you're doing that, just take a quick pause to say, I have launched a lifelong dream to work with game changers and change makers who want to really take a deep dive into how to design and deliver really engaging workshops. So it's called the Transformative Trainers Academy. I'm thrilled to say we have a member in our group here right now. Leanna is here. So if you're interested, if you want more information, I put the link in the chat, and also you can email me there. Also, the next roundtable, and it's the last one for 2025. We'll take a break for December, so November's is there. And it's all about, it's about motivation, actually, if your motivation is lagging and sagging. So we're going to take a deeper dive into that motivation survey and a bunch of other tips. And then also, please, as I mentioned, this is a labor of love. I don't charge for this because I'm so deeply passionate about learning. So please help grow our community if you found value here. The link is there. And then also, if you have ideas for future topics, please send me your ideas. I do these based on what members want. And if you want to see what else I can do, here is my workshop catalog, so you can check that out. Okay. Are you ready to dive into the rest of the tips before we end at the bottom of the hour? You doing okay? Actually put an emoji in the chat if you don't mind to let me know how are you feeling right now. My nose has been cooperating mostly. First time I've had to pull out my Kleenex there, excuse me. Okay. You're so welcome, Alexandra. Watch, the PowerPoint will be in your inbox in 21 minutes, and then the video and the workbook and all that arrives next week, usually on Monday. Okay, nice. Got some nice emojis coming. Oh, great. Okay. Okay, then let's continue. So we've talked about your almonds, your amygdalas, some trauma tips, trauma-informed tips. and that your motivation style. The next one is the SAKE tool. So I'd love to know, why do you attend workshops? I know that's a big, broad question, but based on your answers, I'm going to annotate the screen, so you don't have to worry about annotating. But let me know why did you come to this workshop, or why do you go to any workshop? Let me know in the chat. And based on your answer, I'm going to annotate the screen, whether you're in the category of S, A, K, or E. So there's so many reasons. And if you can design a workshop with all 4 of these things, oh, chef's kiss. Okay, find inspiration. Okay, that's A. By the way, when I annotate, my camera automatically goes off. To learn something, understand different perspectives, and meet different people. Okay. That and that, I believe. Stephanie's saying skill development, awareness, and knowledge. Okay, do there. Great. Anyone else? And there's no judgment. All of these are valid reasons for going to a workshop. Any others before I tell you what these stand for, or before you can guess? So when you set out to go to a workshop, oh, great. Okay, so Leanna's saying to learn, to get new tips, hear about some resources, hear different views. Okay, I'm gonna put that there, I think. To learn in order to pass on the knowledge to myself. Oh, great. Okay, that's a K and an E. Thank you, Stella. Johan saying to learn and expand my knowledge. Okay, great. Okay. And Eloise is saying, oh, love that. To improve my life and the life of others. Put that there. Okay. Any guesses what these stand for? So what is the S, the A, the K, and the E? And notice that everybody, this group actually is more equal than most. But any guesses what these stand for? Because you will have, yes, Johan, yes, K is knowledge, absolutely. Because you will teach. I'll give you a survey where you can measure your preference, your bias, because you will teach based on your preference. You will do this unconsciously until you become conscious of it. But if you love knowledge, oof, you're going to have your research notes, all your sources, all your, go read this blog, this article, this book, like that's going to come automatically for you. Good guess, Johan. E is not empower, but you're kind of on the right track with the A. Yes, Ranjita. So S is skills. A, oh, you're close. Here, so I've taken a picture, so I'll put that in the in the thing. And here is what it is here. So when I was teaching it was supposed to be a competency-based workshop in Cairo for the UN. It was a very international group. And some of the participants came to me and said, Leanne, if we don't have these competencies, does it mean we're incompetent? I'm like, best question ever. So that's how I designed this model. So S stands for skills, right? So what are you teaching people to do, right? A stands for attitude. Now, people typically either include this completely or completely leave it out. And what do I need by attitude? Attitude is mission, vision, values, motivation, right? So I can learn all of these skills, all of this knowledge, but if I'm like, whatever, I don't care. Like when is this over? If I'm not motivated, then it's really going to be hard to get that learning to stick. K is knowledge, as I mentioned. So if you're big on knowledge, again, you're going to have all the resources, here's where to go for more information, etc. I taught this workshop to university profs one day, and when they did the survey, they were 100% knowledge, not surprisingly. And E is experience. Okay, and experience is what are we doing to get the learning to leave the room? Right? To get the learning to leave the room, to apply the learning, to transfer the learning. And sadly, I, I just, I, first I'll say this first piece. In the chat, I put the survey and you can measure your preference. And whatever your preference is, you're going to do that automatically, beautifully. It's going to come easily and naturally to you. What's really important is to include the ones that is not your preference because we want to speak to the whole person and all of our participants. We want to be very inclusive. So some of these might feel a little awkward, right? A little uncomfortable because it's not your preference for learning, right? And by the way, which one do you think is most important for people? So it doesn't, I've done this survey, it's been running for years. And the number one never changes. It never, now I'm gonna, knock on wood, I'm gonna look at it change now. But for years, this thing has been number one. Which one do you think is number one? What's your guess? Is it skill? You can just put the letter. Is it S for skills, A for attitude, K for knowledge, or E for experience? So Ranjita says knowledge, K. Okay. Oh, lots of Ks. Okay. Hilda says K. Stella says E. Oh, okay. Stella, Eloise says E for experience. E. Okay. Oh, we're getting, okay, another K. Okay, drum roll. Here we go. Yang Yang says E. Yeah, it's E. It's experience. People have signed up for your workshop, registered, they've put their bottom in the seat, logged online, got to your venue if it's in person, because they want to do something with that learning, right? They want to do something with with those skills. They want to do something with that knowledge. They want to continue to be inspired and motivated and feel passionate and interested. And yet, guess which one we tend to include the least? So if experience is what people want, it's always in the top spot. The others vary, but experience never changes from number one. What's the one? Oops. What's the one we tend to leave out? So as workshop facilitators, think about the workshops you've taken. Do you learn how to, do they leave out skills? So Eloise is saying attitude. So you're not generally very motivated. The instructor's not helping you feel included, motivated. Okay, Hilda agrees it's attitude. Oh, so we're getting lots of A's. Okay. Stephanie's saying A. By the way, A is really addressed with all of these access and inclusion tips, right? That really, really, really speaks to attitude. Okay, Stella got it. It's actually experience. Now, dagger to the heart again, right? The number one thing that people want, the number one thing is the thing that we leave out, right? It's the thing that we leave out, right? And it doesn't have to be hard, right? So this worksheet here, this is an experience. This is the E of the sake, right? It's helping you, whether you use this worksheet or not, I'm cueing you to think about your future self, right? I'm letting you know that the deck is coming. I'm letting you know that the workbook, I lost the word, the workbook's coming, right? I'm speaking to your future self there. I'm giving you surveys to fill in, right? All those kinds of things if you want to dive into them for more. So a quick tip for a quick win there is really dive into that SAKE tool, right? You may wish to take the survey, really find out what and it's totally fine to have a preference and a bias. Everybody does. We just need to make sure that we're including the other ones. Hilda's asking, is experience participation? Kind of. Experience is what happens after the workshop ends, right? Are we getting people to use the learning? Are we making it easier for them to apply the learning? Are we speaking to this is the hardest one to understand. So I often get this question. It's how do we go from it being just a lecture for the, a workshop for this discrete period of time to, oh, it's going to make a difference. I'm going to use this here and I can see how I can do this here and I'm going to change up how I do this. And oh, I can't wait to learn more about this thing. So Hilda, let me know if that makes sense. Okay. Learning about, yes, Nang Nang, yes, it's helping the participants apply the learning. Yeah, thanks, Hilda. Okay. Okay, we have two more. Stella's saying, is knowledge is knowledge pass onable? Great question. If the workshop is inclusive, if it's engaging, if it's interesting, if it speaks to these different tips, if it's motivating, then absolutely knowledge is, right? We hope our world is lost if we can't continue learning, right? Learning, I think, is everything. Okay, I'm going to pick up the pace just a little bit. You've asked some amazing questions. I love the engagement, and I do want to get through the last two tips. Can I have your permission to move on to the last two? Is that okay? Just give me a thumbs up if you're okay with that. Okay, great. Okay. Okay, I want you to pretend that I have put this machine on your desk. Okay, so this machine is right in front of you. It can't hurt you. It's not dangerous. How would you learn how to use this machine? Okay, it's important, and it's important to you. You are motivated. You do want to learn how to use this machine. Would you ask someone for help? Would you read the instruction manual, or would you start pushing buttons? Let me know in the chat. How would you learn how to use this machine? Assuming it's right in front of you, it's really important to you to learn how to use this machine. Stella's saying, I meant that experience is pass onable. Oh, yeah, yes, Stella. I see. Okay, so yes, the experience part, getting that learning to leave the room, is the trickiest part, right? It's the trickiest part of teaching and facilitation. And there's definitely, we call it, the technical term is transfer of learning, and there's definitely ways to do that. Absolutely. And that's stuff I cover in the Transformative Trainers Academy, actually. Okay, so I'm just tracking back here. Okay, so Ranjita said, ask someone for help. Hilda says, I know myself, start fixing it without using the manual. Okay. Sorry, I'm selling a bunch of stuff and people keep calling, so it might pop up on the screen again. Sorry about that. Okay, so Stephanie would like a video. Okay, I love that. Leanna says, love it. I'd examine it in detail first. Oh, look, super interesting. Then I would ask someone. Reading the manual would be the last resort. Okay. Juliana saying, ask someone for help. Johan, start pushing buttons and ask for help. Buttons, read the manual. Okay. So what you are demonstrating is your preference for learning. Now, you can go into this in more detail with this survey here that I'm just going to put in the chat. And by the way, this is a really interesting topic in that this has kind of been debunked, right? The audio, visual, and kinesthetic. But people believe that it's true, right? So it's not that if, the research shows that people aren't like audio and only audio, like they only learn best by listening. But from a teaching perspective, we want to make sure that we know your bias, your preference. So if you are visual, right? If you wanted to see a video, if you wanted to look at the instruction manual, your slides are going to be great. You're going to have like your format, your images, like you're going to do that automatically really well. If you prefer to hear things, then you're going to probably have a very good speaking voice. By the way, hearing it is also giving participants the chance to speak as well. And doing it, that's that kinesthetic thing, right? So that's why I'm asking you to use the chat so much, right? Because chat is a really interesting tool online because it's visual and it's kinesthetic. So you're getting two out of, and actually, and people can see it. So you get like Sorry, it's visual and people are doing something. So you're getting 2 out of 3 there. Yang Yang saying, based on the knowledge and experience, start to operate the machine. Okay, I love that. I love that. Okay, so it's because we're biased as instructors. I once had a participant say, "Oh, that's the purpose of flip charts. I never understood the purpose of flip charts," right? She was not a visual person, right? Or have you ever had a person say, "Don't worry about the handouts. I'll give them to you at the end of the workshop. You don't have to write anything down." Oh, I'm kinesthetic. If you sit beside me at a conference, I'm going to spread out because I'm doing and charting and writing and this idea and that. Like, if you tell me I can't write, oh, I'm going to be very annoyed and I'm probably not going to listen to you, right? I'll just be writing anyways. So make sure that you know your preference, and then that you're giving people chances to see, to hear, and to do, right? And you can map all of those things in your workshops too, if you get to that. Um, okay, so quick tip there for quick win is know what your preference is. And you don't have to worry about that because that's going to come automatically. Just make sure you include the other 1 or 2. Okay, our last one is the life lenses. So did anyone get a chance to do the life lenses? I sent you the link. Oh, ugh, I have a text expander and I always forget that the only place it doesn't work is in the chat. So you can take this assessment online for free on my website. The link was in the email I sent you, and also it'll be in the workbook. And this is all about what comes onto your radar easily, naturally, and comfortably, right? So it's about expanding your perspective, expanding the frames that we teach from, that we operate in the world from. So please describe this cup. What quantity is in this cup? I'm trying not to be to lead you on here. So what quantity is in this cup? Okay, so Hilda's saying it's half full. Anyone else? Oh, Ranjita, it's half. I like that. Nice. Okay, anyone else have a different answer? So the life lenses looks at what comes onto your radar easily, naturally, and comfortably, and what flies below your radar because it's awkward, foreign, not important. And that's, as instructors, that's where the juice is, right? Oh, Stella, it's refillable. Oh, that's great. Love that. Okay, so here's another way to look at it, because we, as instructors, facilitators, right, we really want to be expanding perspectives. So potentially one way to look at this is that it's completely full. It's half full of air and half full of water. So if you wish, you can go ahead and do that life lenses assessment. This is a lot of information. Please do not feel like you're going to master this right away, but all of the resources are in. If you do the assessment, you'll get your customized report. And then I've got tons of blog posts over many, many years that you can dive into. So basically, if you do the assessment, you will assess. Let me just turn on my highlighter here. So you'll assess either as a carrot or a mountain, right? Carrots love details. Oof, they look down because they're focused on details. On a bad day, their head is in the sand. Okay, mountains, their opposite cousin, their head is up, big picture, strategy, strategy, strategy. Whatever you self-assess as, you want to make sure that you're including the other piece. So if you're a carrot, you want to make sure that you're including the strategy. If you're big picture mountain, you want to make sure that you're addressing those details. You will also either self-assess as a stop or a go. Stop lens, oof, they want to press that brake first, right? They want to think, reflect, research. They really turn inwards, right? Go lenses, their first inclination is step on the gas, right? Let's try, let's experiment, let's try it. Look at what could possibly happen, right? And every lens has its good day and its bad day. Whatever lenses you self-assess as you will inherently believe that they're normal, natural, and right. But I can guarantee you will have all of the lenses in your workshop. So make sure you're looking at the ones you don't self-assess as. Okay, heart lenses. These two are a pair here. Heart lenses look to their intuition. They can really read a room. Head lenses, they look to logic and facts. And then the final pair is journey and destination. So journey is focused on the process. Think purple and process. Oh, Eloise, have a great run for mental health. What a lovely thing. The deck will arrive in your email inbox now, and all the other resources will arrive probably on Monday. Thank you so much for being here. And then the last one is destination. So journey lenses are all about process, how things happen. Destination, get me to that outcome. Tick, tick, get me to that goal, right? So if you know your lenses, you can know the strengths and weaknesses of those lenses. You know where you're automatically going to show up and shine and the ones that you need to also include. So as a quick tip there, you may wish to take the assessment and really start digging into those lenses because I can guarantee that you'll have all of the lenses in your workshops. So, rock stars, that brings us to the closing. Let me know in the chat. Do you have any questions? Any comments? As you're thinking about that, please, if you are interested in the Transformative Trainers Academy, send me an email or look at that link that I just put in the chat. Please help grow our network and share the link for the roundtable. If you are a UN staff and you want to have this count for professional development, you need to sign the attendance sheet. It's only for UN staff. And I put the link in the chat. The next roundtable is November the 20th, and it's all about how to get motivated when you're lagging and sagging. I would love your feedback. There's a link there for feedback, and you get a little surprise to thank you for your feedback. So check that out. You will get a workbook with the video. The video will be time-stamped. You'll get an audio clip, all the resources, etc. And the deck will be in your inbox right now. Also, I'd love to know what's your key takeaway? And I know we're a little bit over time, so no, we are so close to being done. And if you need to go, I completely understand. You're so welcome, Ranjita. Thank you for your kind comment. Thank you, Hilda. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you, Stephanie. Let me know what's your key takeaway and what are you going to do with your learning? That's the E of the SAKE, right? Getting you to think about how are you going to action your learning. And by the way, every roundtable I create, it's called a Digo link. This is a social bookmarking tool. If that sounds confusing, it's just a way to put all the resources online in a really easy link. So you just click that link and any of the resources I use to research this, you can get access to them. Okay, so key takeaway for Anne is recognizing that fawning is not helpful, building safety. Yeah, yes. Leanna, the glass full with air and water. Love that perspective. Yeah. Thank you, Leanna. Leanne. Sorry, I'm still learning how to say your name. Hilda, tips for inclusive learning, also not to forget e-experience. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, thank you everyone for your time. Once again, if you do want to see what other workshops I do, don't hesitate to get in touch. I'd love to chat. So please, on the count of 3, if everyone can unmute, please unmute everyone. And in whatever language you wish, feel free to say goodbye and best wishes, whatever you wish. So unmute, unmute, unmute.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Thank you. Take care. All.
Paldies, visu labu!
Aw,
Danke.
thank you, everyone. Stay well, stay
Gracias.
safe, stay creative, stay learning.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Oh, thanks, Stella. So her takeaway was learning to be better aware of trauma. Oh, thanks, Yang Yang. And Yang Yang, I hope I'm saying your name right. You can correct me if I'm not. Hope to see everyone online next month. Thank you so much for your time. You are appreciated. These are upside down times. So please stay well, and we'll see you next month. Bye, everybody.